Hi everyone, Casey Mullaney here. Super excited to be chatting with you today. And today I was reminded of something that I acknowledged fully when I was a really young child, but has been something that I've had to relearn over the years, and something I've also had to help other clients and people in my life learn as well. And that is, anything that you want is really available to you, especially if you see that it's available for someone else. Anytime that we try to deny the things that we want or say that we can't have them, it's just kind of a lie to ourselves, honestly, which sounds a little harsh to say, but that's actually true. So just to give you a little bit of background on me, in case you don't know, I actually grew up outside of Louisville, Kentucky. I grew up in beautiful farmland area, and essentially the highest expectations that most people had for my life was for me to get a degree just so that I could have a job, so that I could, if I wanted to stay home with the children, I would have a backup thing in case that marriage did not work out. So that was really, honestly, the largest ambitions that were really had for my life, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's a great plan, but that's not really how I saw my life. I actually saw all sorts of things that I knew that I wanted. I knew that I wanted to live in warmer weather. I wanted to have all these cats originally, in case I've only shared this once, I think. I really wanted this giant mansion full of cats. I loved cats. I was just obsessed with cats. Sadly, I'm now very allergic. I have a cat and I love him so much, and I have to be on allergy medicine for him. But I wanted this mansion. I wanted to have warm weather. I fully planned on, vacationing, and none of this seemed crazy to me because I saw that it existed in other people's lives. I saw these big, beautiful homes. I knew about, beaches in Florida. I'd been there. I'd seen it. I knew, warm weather for most of the year was possible. I knew a lot of things were available, and because they were available, and because I did have enough messaging that I was capable of anything that I wanted from people who cared about me, I knew that it was possible for me to have these things in my life. So for you today, especially as an adult, we tend to forget. As a child, it's really easy to see huge, expansive options available to us. It's easy to see what's possible for maybe somebody else, or look what they achieved. That's awesome. But we forget what's actually possible for ourselves. And we tend to get in this realistic mindset, which I don't find to be helpful for anyone at all. We can be blessed with as much as we want. We just have to have the mindset and the thoughts and the words and actions around bringing in amazing blessings into our life. One thing that I feel that a lot of people kind of disregard is that we are meant to live in, a joyful state. We're really meant to live in a state of love. We're meant to live in the state of joy. And part of how you get to attain that level of joy and love and living in a more blessed state is not by sitting in a place of lack or feeling like what you're doing, this is as good as it's going to get, or struggle. Anytime that you're in a place of struggle, it is completely possible to get out of that. That I completely promise. It really has to do with starting to reframe, rewording, rethinking different things, monitoring your thoughts, words, and actions a bit more, and being aware of what's really possible for you. I've seen crazy things happen, absolutely insane things happen. I've seen people who were, completely struggling, barely able to pay their bills, create massive, awesome businesses and become millionaires. And the people that they were surrounded by may or may not have believed that at the time. They had to hold this belief for themselves. I've watched people who were basically told they were never going to be able to have normal food again or walk properly again, do all sorts of amazing things and go off and dance and eat fried chicken. I've watched all sorts of things, and most of that comes down to your thoughts and what you believe. If you believe that what you want, you can have that, then it really is possible, even in the most crazy, almost impossible situations. And a lot of it just comes down to our beliefs and our faith in what is available to us, our faith in holding space for the fact that if it's available to someone out there, even if it hasn't, even if it's something crazy off the wall, but you feel this desire in your heart, you feel really called to something, or you really feel like something's available for you, then it is. You're not getting these, you don't get these desires to like mess with your head and make you feel terrible. You get these desires because it's something that's totally available for you. Now, it might be scary. It might mean getting out of your comfort zone. It might mean doing things you're not used to doing, but it is fully possible. And I've seen too many testaments of that, including in my life, to even pretend that it's not. I decided at the age of 9 that I was going to live in Jacksonville, Florida. I met these people in Disney World. Like in Disney World, we were on this boat. They lived close to like Disney and even closer to the beach. And I'm like, what an amazing place to live. I picked out that I was going to the University of Kentucky around the same time frame. I decided like the income bracket that I wanted to be in. I decided when I wanted to get married, down to like the age. I knew the exact age that I wanted to get engaged, and that happened. It was just more about making these decisions and believing that they could hold true, that this could actually be feasible for my life. And, it happened, it was created in this way because I held space for it and I knew that it was possible. And that's really, really what most of what you want comes down to. It's kind of like, do you really want it? Because if you really want something, if this is something that you like are striving for, if this is something you really want in your life, then you're willing to get a little uncomfortable. You're willing to do things that are not always the easiest. In case you don't know this easier, these videos used to freak me out. Even public speaking used to freak me out. I was naturally incredibly introverted. I actually did not even hold much conversation as a young child with somebody I was not familiar with by any means. That always took guts. For me to initially start complimenting people just because I knew that it would bring them joy took guts on my part. That was so out of my comfort zone, and all of this stuff has happened just because I was able to push myself out of my comfort zone just a little bit. Moving to different states was not an easy thing either. I lived in 3 states now. That's not an easy thing. I've traveled by myself a lot. That was something way far out of my comfort zone, but it's put me in some incredible places and some incredible situations and, memories I wouldn't trade the world for, and basically, again, it's just all about what you're willing to kind of put yourself out for. Are you willing to work on your thoughts? Are you willing to work on your words? Are you willing to pay attention to what you're surrounding yourself by? All these things are big keys, and these are all things that I really, I worked on myself for years for and now work on clients with, is really creating an environment to create what you really want and bring you the most joy in your life. So this is just my little reminder today that if there's something that you really do want in your life, if there's something that you're really wanting to bring in for yourself, and it's something that, part of your mind is like, well, that's not realistic or that's not possible, tell it to shut up and go away. It completely is. It just is. Anything that you desire in your life, anything you desire that's, deep in your heart, it is fully possible for you. And it's just about deciding that that's what you want and that you're going to go for that. And that's really, really actually available for you. And so anyways, if this is something way out of left field for you, if this is something that makes you maybe a little uncomfortable or you're just more curious about it, feel free to either message me or go to my website, KCMullaney.com, and contact me there, and I'd be happy to chat with you a little more about it. So anyways, I hope you're having an awesome day, and I can't wait to see y'all soon. Bye.